Peter Espig, der Präsident, CEO und Director von Nicola Mining ist. Welcome, Peter. The next presentation is in English language.
Ja, vielen Dank. Ich war in Wien geboren, aber ich mache das Presentation in Englisch. Aber wenn Sie Fragen haben, Sie können dann ruhig nachher entweder auf Englisch oder Deutsch fragen. Also, we are based in British Columbia. I'll just go. So, we are a very unique company, Nicola Mining. So, one is we are cash flow positive. So, very few mining companies actually generate positive cash flow. So, we generate positive cash flow. We have a high-grade copper asset, which I'll talk about. We own a silver mine, and we also have cash flow from, we have a gravel pit, a rock quarry, and a cement factory. So these are our 5 assets. So the one asset is the Craigmont Copper. Craigmont Copper is the highest grade copper mine in the history of North America. And we are drilling there as we speak today. Our drill results will be coming out in the next 6 weeks. We have a mill, so this year we produce gold and silver. Last year we started the mill last year. We produced gold and silver. 2023 we had an operating profit of about 7 million. It's a little bit lower this year at 5 million because we shut the mill down to automate it. So right now our entire mill processes are run by 4 people, which saves a lot of money in the long run. We also have a fully permitted silver mine. When I took over the role, so I've been the CEO since 2013. When I took over the role of CEO, one of the first things we did was we put the silver mine into care and maintenance. And we did that because in 2013, silver was $14.60 an ounce. And the Canadian dollar was $1.05 to the US. So it didn't make sense to take out all our silver, deplete our resource when we believed that silver would eventually go up. So we'll look at reopening the silver mine next year or the following year. We also have a gravel pit. So one of the things, so my background is distressed turnaround. So maybe some of you know, but like I started my career at Goldman Sachs. I've worked New York, London, Tokyo, Singapore, and did restructuring all throughout the world. And one of the sayings that we have is, cash is king. And another saying that the Japanese say is turkeys fly like eagles in a typhoon. And so we wanted to position ourselves, the company, so that we don't need to raise money because raising money is very difficult in bad markets. So we've now created a company that is self-sufficient and can pay for its own exploration, it can pay for its upgrades. And we did that, we have a gravel pit. This is a partnership with First Nations, a rock quarry, a partnership with First Nations, and a cement plant. And for next year, the cement plant has just finished construction in October. And for 2025, we have contracts with the Ministry of Highways of British Columbia. And again, it's just another cash flow generator. And because we also, with our cash flow, you can see there Dominion Gold. Dominion Gold is a project that at surface has 1 ounce to 2 ounces gold per ton. And it's very, very high grade. The cost of mining is very, very low. The problem is there's only 20,000 tons. So they were kind of stuck because with 20,000 ounces, you can't build a big mine. So there are several of these projects in British Columbia where we who own a mill are able to acquire these. So we acquired 75% of the company for $600,000. And it was $150,000 cash, and then we pay for the operations. The previous management have a 25% carry, but we control that. And in 2024, we also did $1 million investment into Blue Lagoon, which hopes to get its operations running and producing gold next year. And that gold will come to us as well. So 2025 will be very busy, and we'll be able to use those revenues for our expansion. So this is where we are. So if you look at every copper mine in British Columbia is either along this tranche here, which is called the Spences Bridge tranche, or the Quesnel Trough, and then here There's another tranche called the Spence's Bridge tranche. We are the corner of the two largest copper-bearing faults in all of British Columbia. So this is the mill. So this mill, one of the things that we did is we spent 3 years fighting with the Ministry of Mining on the wording of our permit. And we eventually got the permit. And the reason we were able to get it is because we own the land. So we bought the land. So we have a $30 million mill, but we paid $11 million for the land, and we own 1,000 acres. And then we went to the Ministry of Mining and said, look, we own this land, so we want to become classified as an industrial site. We want to be able to do what we want to do because it's our land. If you have your own property, you can grow vegetables or you can plant grass, you can do what you want. So the ministry at first said no, we went back and forth, and now finally they agreed, and our permit reads, Nicola Mining has the right to accept and process gold and silver from anywhere in the province of British Columbia subject to notifying the Ministry of Mining. And that's very important because we don't need to do consultation, no studies, no environmental impact. This is an industrial site, and it's the only one in Western Canada that has that free autonomous ability to produce gold and silver from anywhere. So if you look, this is a very important slide. So if you look at those big red dots, the big red dots symbolize a gold project in British Columbia greater than 5 million tons. Why is that important? Each one of the larger dots are either A, a former mine, B, a producing mine, or C, they've applied for the permits to become a mine. But if you look at the white dots, so there's the orange ones, but look at all those white dots. Every one of those white dots symbolizes a project of less than 1 million tons, but greater than 7 grams per ton, and none of them have a mill. And none of them are permitted to build a mill. So the way to think of it is they're like airplanes and we're the airport. We're the only place that they can bring their gold. And so when we enter into gold contracts, we have a simple template where it's the gold miner pays for the mining, pays for the trucking, we pay for the milling, reimburse us, then them, and then we split the profit. So we help unlock their gold, but they also save money on because they don't have to build a mill. Because building a mill, so our mill I mentioned, it's a $30 million mill. We paid $11 million for the land, but if you were to build a mill now, it would be much closer to $100 million. So here you can see the mill is built for expansion. We have partnerships with Blue Lagoon, Osisko, Talisker, and we will be announcing more partnerships, but increasingly we'll also be milling our own production next year with Dominion and then also with Blue Lagoon. So this is the Craigmont Copper Project, and this is where the real value in the company is. You can see where it is, so I don't know if you're familiar, but I mentioned we're the highest grade copper project in North America history, and we're beside the largest copper mine in the history of Canada, which is Highland Valley Copper. And Highland Valley Copper was actually discovered because of the Craigmont. And so we border them. And this mine operated from 1961 to 1982. What's very important, if you look at the bottom, it was not until November 15 of 2015, November 19, 2015, that we actually got full ownership of the project. There were 7 owners, and the 7 owners bought the company in 1982, and they never did any exploration. So there was 0 exploration once the mine started. So from 1961 to 2016 was there was 0 exploration. And when we acquired the rights for the 100% of the ownership, the principal geologist of Teck Resources, which is a global player, left Teck and approached us and said, I want to be part of the project. So our geological team, we have 3 geologists. The former principal geologist of Teck Resources, the former VP of exploration for Freeport Newmont, West Coast North America, and the former VP and a professor at Colorado School of Mines from Silvercorp, did his PhD at Colorado School of Mines and now works for us. That's our geological team. So we have a very good team. I'll skip forward this. So this year we're really focused on porphyry. And I can say that we're very excited, although I have to be careful, but the focus of our drill program was to find porphyry, and I'm pleased to say we did. Here's an example of what our core looks like. So this core you see here is quite high grade. That would be about 10% copper. Not all of our core looks like that, but here you can see some of our drill intercepts. They are quite high. So the very first hole that we ever drilled was TH02, which was 85 meters or 1.1%. And over the past 3 years, what we've been doing is we've been doing a lot of geotechnical work. And this is something that's very exciting. So if you look here, you can see a trend. And that trend, you can see it goes like east-west. And you see these blobs. And you can see where the historic pit is. And then you can see the embayment and the marb. So if you look at, this is probably the most important slide in the presentation. So if you look at the center top, you'll see Craigmont Mine. And that's modeled. So what we did here is we took a electromag, a ZTEM survey, IP survey, and mapping, and we put them on top of each other to see if they tell the same story, and they do. So you can see at the Craigmont Mine, you can see that there is lots of drill holes, there's an anomaly, and there was a copper mine. If you look on the left of that, you can see the embayment zone, you can see a small outcropping, then you can see drill holes, and that's where we had 101 meters of 1.33%, very high grade. If you look to the right, the Eric small anomaly, drilling 90 meters of 0.8%. This year we're actually drilling the marb and the Kaz. If you look at the marb, you can see a very, very large anomaly, and that is 3.5 kilometers across. It's very large, and you can see one drill hole, and it was drilled in 1961. And there's never been another drill hole. So this year we're drilling in towards the center of that, and we're very excited with what we're seeing now. And the same with the Kaz. You can see two drill holes. Both were drilled in 1961, and they stopped in copper, but at the time they were looking for 2% plus copper, and this was below 2%, and therefore they just shut the hole down. And there's never been another drill hole. So in closing, we also have a fully permitted silver mine that we can reopen. This is the mine. It's fully permitted. We have a gold permit, a silver permit for mines. We have a mill permit, the copper permit. Everything we have is permitted. Here you see the mine. And in conclusion, so there's the background of our board. If you want to have a presentation, I have lots of presentations on the table outside. You can take either a presentation or English or in German. And that's all. So we are cash flow positive. We have a mill. We have a great copper project, and we have a silver mine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter.